All right, so NFL draft today, and of course, we all expect or we all think that we know at least four quarterbacks are going to go in this draft, and there may be a possible five. Six would be crazy, but I was like, it could happen. Um, Obviously, with the teams that of course, throw out the Bears, but I was like, Commanders, who everybody we all suspect is going to take Jane Daniels, and the Patriots might be taking their quarterback. Giants want a quarterback. Raiders want a quarterback. Denver wants a quarterback. You know, uh, so I was like, and to be honest, in Minnesota. So I was like, so we have basically, I was like two, I was like three, it was like four, five, six. We got six people teams that want a quarterback. Now, I do think at the end of the draft, not the first round, the draft, all of them will snatch a quarterback. It all just depends on who getting it today. I was like, I don't think that. I was like, I think Minnesota's going to get their quarterback. I don't think the Giants will. I think the Raiders will snag a quarterback. I don't think the. I was like, I don't think the Broncos will. If that in this here. Um, some of that is because like Denver, I was like I could see them wanting to draft capital to where I'm like they trade back, and if somebody is there, maybe they select, but I don't see them going outright. I was like Oakland, I know they got Minshew there, O'Connell, and that's to me that's better than what the Broncos got with Zach Wilson and Stenham or whatever. But I feel like but paying somebody that's like I can make it work. Whereas I'm like the the Raiders is like we're gonna get somebody. That's where I was like where I think Penix is gonna go. I think it's gonna be the Raiders because they're not gonna be able to get Daniels. Um, but I like to create a scenario of, and I was like nobody would do this because I guess they're like, oh my God, you're gonna get fired. When I'm like, you're gonna get fired anyway, so I might as well try to do the best thing. It's something like the Commanders. Like I know that like people said they got like a plethora of picks, so why would they trade down? But I'm also like, yeah, but you can get more picks, and you're a team that I'm like the way you sort of always been. Like, why not try to get more talent on that team, especially as you see what the Cowboys are sort of going to be, and the Eagles. You never know with them either. They're going to be solid, but you don't know what they're going to be. So it's like, so I'm just saying, I was like, if you going with Daniels, sure. If you go with something else, I was like, when they had like all the quarterbacks there, to me that was I thought of could they possibly trade down and end up taking like Penix, like like somehow switch with like give take Minnesota's couple picks and then draft Penix later on or whatever like that. Because I don't think that Penix is really that far off from the top four as the way that they're making it sound. Just because I'm like we hot shot JJ McCarthy ass up here, so I'm like, what's really like, and without anything in the same way that you said about like the other three quarterbacks. So I'm like, why not Penix at the same time where everybody loves how his arm is and how he's able to throw accurate ball. Anyway, um, the Patriots, I was like, I to me that's also somebody that I'm like, well, why not just get like Penix later on when you need more picks? Whereas somebody like the Giants, I'm like, no, you fit the archetype of having Drake May on your squad. I was like, even though JJ would fit the Eli model of things, if you get what I'm saying. I was like, Minnesota, I don't think they could do any wrong. I think they're going to pick whoever fits their system, so that's why I don't think they could do any wrong of who they might try to get and whatnot. But because I was like, anybody could sort of fit in their little thing. Whereas I think with like how I said with the Giants, it looks like it's Drake. It would be Drake May or it would be JJ. That would seem like how they would go. I wouldn't see them like if they had a chance, they had to get Daniels. I'm like, yeah, they'd be ecstatic because I guess it's the top quarterback everybody said, but I don't see them. I don't see that as a fit. Commanders, I feel like anybody sort of fits there. I think of Minnesota. I was like Oakland. I was like I can see Daniels. I can see Penix. I was like, but I couldn't see like JJ there. I can see Drake May there. I was like, I don't know. Maybe it's just some teams that just fit with some quarterbacks. Um, but do I think we'll get six? I don't think we'll get six. I think that somebody is going to come up in the first round to take them. I don't think. I think after the first four, I think Dennis is going to be offense, defense, that whole thing, and then I think around the late 20s is when somebody's going to be like, God, they want that fifth year type of thing. The only reason I say Bo Nix is because I feel like, to me, I like his age sort of hinders him in this situation, to where it's like, I was like, I feel like you want to sort of just, I was like, the 5 years really don't make sense because he's already that old compared to the four, unless you just really just trying to keep him from longer. But I just don't see that as worth as a pick. I was like, and you can sort of, I was like, and you can make the case with Penix too. That's like, to me, maybe you want the fifth year just because you fear his injury, but then also that was also sort of keep you away from probably drafting him at that spot as well too. Whereas all the other quarterbacks are really young, and it's like, cool, I don't mind giving them 5 years. I was like, by then they're hitting their prime a lot more. Where it's like the 5 years for somebody else is like you're sort of. I was like, you can still be in your prime, but I'm like, your rookie deal is ending at the same time. You're also becoming like an older person, which quarterback playing a long time. If it hits, it doesn't matter. Um, but yeah, no, I was like, I don't see six, but I wouldn't mind some teams just like trading down and then just getting your quarterback later. Just because I'm like, hey, if you trade down, how many teams are really trading up? Like, except for Minnesota, everybody else don't have the capital to really trade up. You just really have to get it before um, the Giants. And I was like I said, there's only really two people they would draft. So then you just got to fit that gap between that Oakland. But I was like Oakland Broncos. But I was like, Broncos don't have the capital after the Russell Wilson trade. So I was like, that's why I was like, at this point, I was like, I was like, you can sort of trade down and get some picks, and they'll still get your quarterback. I don't think it has to be boom, 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 boom of taking all your quarterbacks. But yeah, I was like, I don't think we'll see six, but I do think we'll get five, and I guess we'll see how that goes, and we'll see who gets able to pick who. But I was like, it's looking very predictable on how the order is going to go in this situation. And we'll see who decides to reach on one as well too. Considering all things, because that always happens. We always get one that's hot shotted, and we always get one that's um, overreached, and and then somebody always pulls gotta get back into the first round to get one. So we'll see how this goes. Until then.